Good afternoon, Dr. Walton. My name is Elizabeth Hughes, and I'm going to be doing a quick video analysis of a APA 7th edition style format being used from a peer-reviewed journal that comes from Journal of Urban Mathematics Education, and it is titled "We Made Math: Black Parents as a Guide for Supporting Black Children's Mathematical Identities." And I am going to be highlighting four of the major APA features. The four that I'm going to be talking about more specifically will be the general format, which includes the title block. We'll also take a look at the abstract, headings, as well as page numbers and in-text citations. And we'll also take a quick look at the reference list. All right, so starting looking on page one, you can notice here that we do have our title and title case, also followed by the author's name as well as their affiliation. One of the things to notice here is that this is a journal, and with that in mind, this is what we call a journal title block. We are not seeing the title page listed on a separate page by itself as we would see with a student style title page. However, this is still consistent with the APA 7 professional presentation format, but it does not match the format that we will be utilizing as a student style title page, where we will have these things indicated on a separate page. Also note that there are some numbers, some page numbers and titles listed up here to the right. According to the APA 7th edition, we should have that short title off to the left at the top, and we will have our page number there to the right. So you will find that that is not consistent as we are moving out, as is noted here at the bottom as well. We have that title down at the bottom where it should be listed at the top page to the left, and our page number that is listed at the right side, but it should be listed up to the top page. All right, so as we continue, let's take a look at um, the abstract. We can see that general formatting as well is semi-correct. We do have 12 font. However, we are not seeing the double spacing throughout the article or the journal review. So let's take a look at our abstract. We can see that we do have our abstract listed here. However, we do not have it title abstract centered with the title font. We do, however, have the keywords listed. We can see that this meets the requirements of staying within 100 to 200 words. However, again, we're not seeing that abstract title listed and bolded in the middle center, and neither are we seeing the double spacing. However, we do see they kept it within the actual number of um, characters in that particular space. Journals, they may not put the abstract on its own page, again, as we can see here. However, we will be asked to put our abstract on its own page, title abstract, bold, and centered. And then, as you can see, they did leave list keywords. Keywords may be styled differently. We could use all caps, as you can see that they did here, versus the APA keywords with only the K capitalized. So that is also another discrepancy. Um, all right, let's take a look at some of the body organization as we continue moving out throughout this article. So the body organization, headings, and in-text citations. Within the body, when we're using the APA 7, it says that we have five level heading systems. So you can see some of the major headings here, which are background. Let's continue going. Methods that are listed here. Discussion. So you can see that we do have our first level of headings, the major sections, background, methods, finding, discussions, all of those are presented in the APA style headings that guide the reader as we go. And then also, if we look at some of the Insight in-text no, sites, we can see that the looking at the author date and text citations, um, we are asked to use the author's last name and date. When there are three or more authors, the article uses the et.al correctly. And you can see that that happens here, for example, as well, when we're looking at two authors or more. Um, a few other things to notice is looking at the body organization in general. This matches the APA 7 format. We have the logical section headings, again, as we've already mentioned, with the background, methods, finding, and discussion. We also have the author end date text citations, and they look to be used correctly, as we can see here. Some things that differ is we can see the exact heading levels formatting. We can't see where they have, there are some instances where they've gone in, like here, for example, and we have the bold, italicized, and the indentions. But again, that may vary by journal template, even though the structure does mimic the APA format, 7th edition. You'll see that it is slightly different here, and I'm assuming that is because this is a journal article. Um, let's see. And also let's take a look at, again, we saw our level 1 headings with the discussion. Let's zoom on down and take a look at the reference list. And of course, we'll find that at the end of our paper. Okay, so as we take a look here at the reference, it requires APA 7th edition requires that we use the alphabetical order by the first author, and as well as hanging indentions for each entry, and sentence case for the article titles, as well as the journal titles, and the volume numbers should be italicized. We should also see the issue numbers are in parentheses, not italic, and the DOIs appear as live links, HTTP links, when available. And you can see each of those elements are listed here as well, for example. Some things that do match the APA 7th edition as we're looking here is that we can see that they have listed the authors in alphabetical order. We have the hanging indentions on each of those entries. As you can see here, those hanging indents. The article titles and sentence case, we have the journal titles and the volumes italicized and the issues in parentheses. Some things that differ is the minor punctuation and some of the spacing, and that's because it can vary based on the journal and the copy editing. Some journals compress spacing, and they don't use a double space throughout like the APA 7th edition does require. So as we're looking, we can see those hanging indentions. In short, we can say overall, this article um, does use some of the heading citations found in APA 7th edition. We can also see the reference pages and the overall structure. However, it does differ where the journal applies its very own layouts and compared to our APA style format that we'll be using as we are analyzing articles or writing our own analyzations as well. Um, you can also see some other things as far as the title page being a little bit different, and the abstract styling, as well as the spacing and the some of the table cosmetics when we were looking here. It does match the APA format as well as we're looking at the alphabetical order. And that some of these things are normal for what you'll see with a published article. So this 2021 article does follow some of the APA 7th edition across some of the places as far as the title block, the general format with the sizing of the text, not following the spacing or the number, page number, or the running heading. Um, we can see some of the in-text citations are matching as well as the reference list. And again, this is just a quick overview of this article that I am using to analyze based on the APA 7th edition format. And thank you again for your time and for watching. Have a great afternoon.